There are stories in history that make us question how far humanity can fall in the name of progress. This is one of them. In the early 1900s, a new element was hailed as a miracle. It glowed in the dark. It was praised in science, medicine, even beauty. It was radium. To the world, radium meant innovation. But to a group of working-class girls in small American towns, it meant slow and painful death. They painted watch dials by hand. Their brushes were fine, their hands steady. Their paint, a glowing radium compound. They were told it was safe. They were told it was patriotic. But they were being poisoned from within. This is the true story of the Radium Girls. Women who were literally buried alive, whose bones still glow beneath the ground, and whose courage changed the world. Radium was discovered by Marie and Pierre Curie in 1898. It was a marvel, glowing green-blue, radioactive, and believed to have healing powers. In the early 20th century, the U.S. Radium Corporation began marketing a product called Dark, a luminous paint used on clocks, compasses, and military dials. The First World War had created massive demand. Soldiers needed to read time in darkness. Dials needed to glow without electricity. The job was given to young women, mostly teenagers, in towns like Orange, New Jersey, and Ottawa, Illinois. They worked in dial painting factories. The task was delicate. To make fine lines, they were taught to shape their brushes using their lips. Lip diploma paint. Every day, hundreds of times. The paint was radium-based. They swallowed it, breathed it, rubbed it into their skin. But no one warned them. In fact, the company insisted it was harmless. They even encouraged the women to paint their nails, their teeth, their dresses. Radium was a fashion trend, a status symbol. Women walked home glowing. They were the shining girls. Then came the symptoms. First, it was fatigue, then toothaches, then jaw pain that wouldn't go away. One by one, the women began to fall ill. Their teeth fell out, their jaws disintegrated, gums oozed pus, tumors grew in their hips and knees. One worker, Molly Maggia, went to the dentist for a toothache. He touched her jaw and it detached from her skull. The disease had no name, but it had a source. Radium necrosis. The bones were literally rotting from the inside. Their bodies were breaking apart. Some women couldn't walk. Others bled constantly. Some had to carry their mandibles in handkerchiefs. Doctors were baffled. But the companies knew. Internal memos showed that the dangers of radium had been studied. Factory owners wore lead-lined aprons. They warned male scientists. But the female painters? They were left in the dark. And when they began to die, the companies blamed the victims. Syphilis, they said. Hysteria. Even in death, the women were shamed. One woman refused to be silenced. Grace Fryer had worked at the Orange, New Jersey plant. By her 20s, her spine was collapsing. She wore a metal back brace just to stand. Doctors confirmed radiation poisoning, but lawyers wouldn't take her case. U.S. radium was too powerful. It took 2 years for Grace to find someone willing to fight. Attorney Raymond Barry. In 1927, Grace and 4 other women sued the U.S. Radium Corporation. They were dying. They could barely walk or speak. But they stood up to Goliath. The media exploded. Newspapers called them the Radium Girls. Photos of their hollow faces appeared nationwide. Sympathy grew. But the company delayed the trial, hoping they would die before testifying. The courtroom was harrowing. Women testified from stretchers. Some had to write their answers because their jaws were gone. After months of battle, they won. They were awarded $10,000 each, the equivalent of about $170,000 today, and lifelong medical care. But many wouldn't live long enough to receive it. Even in death, the Radium Girls couldn't find peace. As scientists exhumed their remains for study, they discovered something chilling. Their bones were still radioactive. Decades after death, their skeletons glowed. They were buried in lead-lined coffins, some too hot for regular cemeteries. The girls who once lit up factory rooms were now lighting up Geiger counters. Their pain had become a beacon for change. Because of the Radium Girls, labor laws were rewritten. Their case led to stronger protections for workers, stricter testing of industrial chemicals, and later, the formation of OSHA. Their story helped shape modern radiation safety. Radium, once advertised in toothpaste and face creams, was pulled from shelves. In time, playwrights, authors, and historians picked up the torch. The 2017 film Radium Girls and Kate Moore's best-selling book The Radium Girls brought their names to new generations. But their story is still not widely taught. They never got parades, statues, holidays, only bones that glow beneath forgotten graves. This wasn't an accident. It was a cover-up. These companies knew. They calculated the risk. They chose profit over people. The Radium Girls weren't just victims. They were witnesses to a time when corporations owned the truth. And they paid for it with their lives. But they also forced the truth into the light. Their courage carved a path for whistleblowers, workers' rights, and environmental justice. Today, their names are carved into modest gravestones. Their bones still hum with energy a century later. They were buried alive. But their legacy can never be buried. If you found strength in their story, if you believe their voices deserve to echo beyond time, share this story. Say their names. Remember the Radium Girls. Until next time, stay curious.